Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Bike Builds bonus series. If you have any questions about your current projects or any of my past builds, please drop it in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get back to you.
There's a lot of things that I look for in a listing, but more so specifically the first things I weed out are things to steer away from, because that's far more important than trying to find little bonuses here and there to buy. If the picture of the listing of the motorcycle is of somebody riding it or somebody posing with it, especially if it's a Snapchat photo, it's a no-go zone, because they literally don't have the attention to detail to take proper time to take pictures of their motorcycle to list it, which means they probably don't have attention to detail to wash it and or take care of it. So those are ixnayed straight away. Another huge thing, registration current. Registration really isn't all that expensive every year, but if someone doesn't pay it for 6 years and then you get it, however much you paid for the motorcycle might be adding another $300, $500, $600 in registration fees. That's something that's super important to keep an eye out for. And that's why having clearance of having the pink slip, the title, and the registration is a really important buying factor. If it's got the number 69 on it, 420, 187, definitely a no-go. We all know the type of guy that owned that. If it's a runner, that's something I do look for. If it's not a running motorcycle, that's not something I necessarily steer away from, but you have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and really understand why it's not running. If it's something simple like a carb clean, I've bought motorcycles in the same day, cleaned the carb, and been out riding them for something that was considered a non-runner. But in the same note, sometimes not a runner could be a deeper issue with the engine. So you really have to know what you're looking for and checking compression and things like that when you go to do the pickup. When I see a big gas tank and bark busters and a kickstand and a bash plate and fork seal guards on a bike, I almost instantly steer away, because usually it means the person actually put a lot of seat time on it. And a lot of time in those desert and off-road environments, you get to a situation where they just get a lot of hard seat time on them and the frame gets a lot of rash on the bottom, and you can put all the guards you want, but it's kind of a tough life. And then one of the other things that I look for the most is honestly finding the bike that looks like it's been touched the least. The more aftermarket parts for me has no additional value to the motorcycle whatsoever. I usually have an intention of what I plan on doing with the aftermarket parts. Now, obviously, some of those are a score. It might have a pipe you like, or it might have a certain style handlebar you like, which are a win. That's totally fine. But for the most part, stock is good, because stock means that somebody or a dealer or something of that nature hasn't had enough time to get their hands completely inside of it and wreak havoc. Because a lot of times, some of the lower priced motorcycles will often be worked on shade tree style. And, you know, there might be some missing pieces and things like that that you won't be too happy about. So stock is good when purchasing a motorcycle secondhand.
About all of them. That's sick. I love it.
I grew up every couple years on Craigslist, literally like, okay, I need a 250 now or 250F or whatever I was growing in and out of. It used to be I would get them out of the paper, like a cycle trader or paper trading type website. And then it got to the point where Craigslist was predominant, and now you have non-existent newspaper, cycle trader, etc. You have Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and OfferUp. And I've purchased motorcycles through all those platforms. So like right now, I just rode a guy with an 02 CR250, and the thing looked pretty clean, and he has it listed for $1,800. Like, I'm not out here to try to stab anyone on price. Like, I'll work with them a couple $100, and if the asking price that they have it for versus what I want to get it for is more than a $500 gap, just out of general respect for that person, I'm not going to try to lowball them on the offer. When I pull up a search like this, basically you can only be model specific. It's really difficult to be year specific on most of the sites. So I just typed in CR250 by owner only. Prefer not to deal with any dealer resell on situations where the bike cost is already as low as it is. And I just kind of start mapping out what pricing is for these things, because it can go anywhere from $5-6 grand all the way down to $1,500, but sometimes they're overpriced. Usually never underpriced, but sometimes if a deal is too good to be true, it probably is. So kind of have to go through the fine-tooth comb to see what's openly available. Specifically, there's a 2004 that is a steer clear from year because they had a lot of issues. So I just did a little research on the front end to figure out what are the good year ranges of that motorcycle. And for the most part, it's anything 2002 or newer that's specifically not an 04. CR250R, a 2000 militia graphics. Got to watch out for those. Those things, if it's got those, most chances are it's clapped out. But registration is current, title in hand. But it's a 2000. It's a little bit out of what I'm looking to get into, older year generation. Okay, so here we have a 2002 CR250R for 2600. The bike's super clean in photos. The details of the photos are high. There's photos of every single side, suspension, exhaust pipe, engine, seat, rotors, wheels, so it's thorough. He's aware of what he has as a motorcycle. He probably cared about this thing to be taking the in detail photos of that nature. 02 CR250R, registration's current, title's in hand, runs great, starts easy, very fast. I always take those with a grain of salt. I've seen that come anyway, but what he did include is he included an entire parts list of everything that he's done to the motorcycle, so at least he's probably in tune with this thing and was upkeeping on the maintenance. 02 CR250R, starts first kick, original owner, pink in hand, comes with sand paddle. Original owner's always good. That just means at least someone has had a pulse on the history of how the thing's doing the entire time. I don't know why it has a chopped front and rear fender, but that could be a sand paddle Glamis type of style cat thing that I'm not aware of. Ooh, here we go. 07 CR125. So this is what they call a basket case, which means you can get a super good deal on something because somebody purchased a bike to turn it into a project. They took it apart and basically put the parts in a basket because quickly realized they had neither the time, money, or skill set to do the job. So 07 is the last year of the 125. Bike is in a box, literally a few boxes. Freshly powder coated frame and subframe. Oh wait, swing arm update. If you know how to put a bike together, this is for you. This was a pro bike back in the day, but I never got around to putting it together. It's all there. A basket case bike, sometimes all the parts aren't there, and not that I need all the parts, but in a short timeline, you can kind of run into some hot water. But the price is right, and it might be a good donor.
After striking out on my hunt for the CR online, I gave a call to my buddy Alex, who owns a shop across town. Exactly half of a 250, he had a CR 125 that was worth taking a look at. All right, I guess I'll give it a go. I think I might bump it. Let's hit it. It's a runner, technically, just needs some love.